everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How's everyone doing today? So good to see you again, and thank you all so much for stopping by once again to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is I'm going to create something. I'm going to create that wreath that I've been talking about in my vlogs. So first thing I want to do is go through the supplies that I have collected for this wreath. And this is going to be a little different than some of the other wreaths I've made. I'm going to make it in much the same way, but I'm just going to try to combine burlap and Deco mesh. And you'll see what I mean. So first thing I have in my supply list is my 16-inch work wreath. And I know this may be a repeat for some of you when I did my haul the other day, so please forgive me for that. Also, please excuse my hair. I'm going to get my hair done in a couple of hours. So I just literally just threw it up, and it is what it is. So it'll be better next time you see me. Anyway, regardless, I have my 16-inch work wreath. I did get this in the Patriotic section in Hobby Lobby, and I got it for 30% off of $6.99. So there we go. And I'm not going to care if some of these chenille ties shine through. It's going to be fine because that'll just brighten up the wreath a little bit. All right, so 16-inch work wreath. Then I'm going to be using cream. Actually it's called off-white, if truth be told, but it is off-white burlap. And I will give you a link in the description for this burlap. It is 14 inches by 10 yards. And that'll be 2 times around the wreath on the outer and the inner ring. And then I'm going to actually try to take some Deco mesh and put that as my coordinating color over the cream. And the reason I'm doing that is because of this ribbon. I was at first not going to worry about the Deco mesh, and I was just going to use these two together, but as you can see, this would blend in, I feel, too much into the cream. So I do want to add the Deco mesh, and of course they don't sell burlap this length, or at least I haven't been able to find it. I did try to find it this length, and I like this length. I like to work with this. And this is 10 inches by 30 feet. So I should have enough to go around 2 or 3 times. So we'll see. And then of course this ribbon for a bow. And then I have 2 coordinating ribbons that I may put in and around this wreath. And those are it. And they coordinate nicely with this. So I may make piles and make tufts of them. We'll see. How much room I have, I don't know. I did buy 1 accent piece, and I have removed, and it came like this. And I removed this because I didn't want this on the wreath. I just want the USA on the wreath. And I'm gonna put that out in my little red wagon decor out on the front porch. But I just wanted the wooden USA. And I'm gonna be gluing some hot glue, or some pipe cleaners onto the back of this, and so that I can tie it on to the wreath. So that's the only accent piece other than big accent piece. I do have these spiffy, and I'm excited about these little burlappy looking stars. They're kind of fat, and I will just glue these on. I'm not going to put, you know, pipe cleaners on the back of these, but I have some 3 in blue and 3 in this red color, which matches the S really nicely. And then I do have some flowers. I do have red, white, and blue. I have some of those blue roses, the same ones I used in my centerpiece on the table. Blue roses, and then I have, and they're regular size roses, and then I have mini cream and kind of darker red roses. I have no idea whether I'll use any of these, to be honest, but we'll see. So first thing I'm going to do is try to make a big bow out of this, and I'm going to get my camera turned around so that you guys can watch me do that, and then we'll get started making this wreath. I'm excited. I'll be right back when I get my camera all set up. Okie dokie. Before I start my bow, I am going to go ahead and glue a couple of pipe cleaners on. And all I do is just kind of fold it in half and kind of make a flat bottom on it, if you will, so that it will sit on the piece of wood a little easier. And then I simply just hot glue it on. I simply need to add a little bit more glue to my hot glue gun. This is the story of my life sometimes. Stay there, buddy. There we go. And I'm going to leave my hot glue gun plugged in because I will use hot glue to glue those stars on. So there we go. Put this Deco mesh underneath of it while it dries, because you know I can't be patient enough to stand there and hold it. So I'll just have the Deco mesh hold those pipe cleaners up so that they stay in place. All right, let me grab my ribbon. All right, here we go. This is not wired ribbon, so tying it on the wreath will be what makes it pooch up a little bit. So I'm really simply just going to make a pretty loopy bow, and I might leave some tails on it at the end, but let me see what I can do here. I'm just going to try to make kind of a loopy bow. Pretty much the loops may be a little bit graduated, but they'll be basically about the same size. This is really wide ribbon and it's only one-sided. So this would not be a ribbon I would choose to make my first bow out of. So anyway, you start by taking the very end of it and making one loop. And then you just gotta kind of have to eyeball it and see how big you might like that first loop to be. Then you come down here and you pull it up from the bottom and pinch it together. And that gives you your first couple of loops. And then I'm going to make a center loop, so you just twist it so you can bring the right side up to the top, and then you kind of turn it under itself. And I can tell already that this is not going to be an easy task with this bow. Then you twist again. And I think I'm just going to do 2 or 3 loops, 3 or 4 loops I should say, meaning on each side. I don't know how far I'll get. I do want to leave a little bit at the end so that I can make a couple of tufts with that other ribbon. So I'm going to graduate it just a little bit. I'm going to tier it just maybe 1/4 of an inch longer as we go. And then you need to twist it again to bring that right side up, and then make your loop, grab it underneath with that forefinger and thumb that's already getting ready to cramp on me. As many bows as I make, you wouldn't think that they would cramp. Now I'm picturing this bow is going to be pooched up a little bit like that. So I really don't want the loops that different from one another. Make my next one just a smidge longer, really if at all. Twist it. It's going to come out the side you need it to come, but you do need to twist. And then turn it under itself again. And remember, you're going to be able to manipulate these loops once you get it on the wreath and everything tied together. So don't be too concerned with how they look as we go here. Okay, let me see. I might can get 2 more. We'll see. 1, 2. See how much I have left. I don't have much left. So I'm going to just make one loop and feed it over your thumb and under the loop. And pull it around to the back. And use your left hand or the hand you're using to hold the bow as a resistance and pull really tight and give that twist or pipe cleaner a couple of good twists. And of course I can't help it, I've got to fluff and poke at this for a little bit. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get it on the wreath. All right. I should have gotten 2 bolts of this. I'm kicking myself that I didn't, but we will make this work. Yes, indeed. All right, let's turn, I'm gonna move my camera to the other side here because I like to be on this, I like this to be, the camera to be on my left when I'm creating the wreath. So I'll be right back and we'll start putting our burlap. I'm back. I've got my wreath ready to go. I've taken a minute to kind of lift all of the chenille ties up in the air so that they kind of don't get mixed up as I'm going around. I'm going to take the end of my burlap, hang on to it, and pinch it together and leave myself a little tough so that I can tuck it down between the 2 rungs. As all of you know, I do my wreaths this way instead of this way. Mine work out better when I have some place to snug my accent pieces into. Regardless, here we go. I always start on the outer ring. I said leave a little tuff out there so you can tuck it behind. Snug it down into the chenille tie and give it a good twist. And tuck it back behind. And I do my wreaths in a looping fashion. And I make my loops pretty large, about 10 to 12 inches of material, of burlap, is in each loop. I eyeball it, I do not measure. You are welcome to measure, of course. I've just done about 1 billion of these, so I kind of know what I what I want it to look like. And we just work our way all the way around the work wreath. And this, if you do ever order this burlap, be prepared because this burlap is a little bit stiffer than the burlap that you can get in like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So just realize that it is a little bit thicker and it might be a little bit more difficult to manipulate. All right, I'm going to speed up here so that y'all aren't bored to tears with me working my way around. Again, 10 to 12 inches, accordion it together in your hand, and snug it down in. And I will be right back to show you how I transition over into the inner ring. Alrighty, here I am, back to where I started, and I'm going to make one more loop to finish off the outer ring. And I'm going to snug it down into the twist tie, or into the chenille tie right on top of where I started. Then to transition, there's no cutting. I make my loop and then I go to what would naturally be the next chenille tie. On the outer ring, but I take it to the inner ring instead. And then I make my way all the way around the inner ring. And I will be back when I get around to the other side. do the last available empty chenille tie. Making one more loop to go in there. And then the way I finish mine off, and again, I've never been taught how to do this. I've taught myself. So this may not be how others have done it, but I make one more loop and I just piggyback it right down into where I started on the inner ring. And that's it. I cut off the excess, leaving myself enough of a tuft so I can tuck it down between the two rings. And then after that, I take some time to fluff it out a little bit. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to grab, so there's just the burlap. So now I'm going to grab the Deco mesh. And start putting this on. And I'm probably going to put, we'll see how we go. At the very least, I'm going to put 2 rows of it on. One on the outer and one on the inner, just like I did before. Drop to the floor. This goes quicker because it's obviously not as wide as the burlap. You start in the same fashion though. Start on the outer ring. Leave yourself a little tuft. Tuck it down into the chenille tie and then make your loops. Now these loops I make pretty big because I want them to come up and over the burlap nicely, and I want you to see some movement between the two colors. So I would say that's at least 12 inches. I'm just going to make my way all the way around the outer, then transfer over to the inner ring. And then I'll come back and decide whether I want to do even one more. So I'm going to go ahead and do both of these rows. And I'll be back in just a second. All right, here I am back at the beginning again, and to me I need another row of blue to my eye, so I'm going to alternate between the inner and the outer rings and go all the way around, going in outer. I went to the outer there because I was on the inner. Now I'm going to go on to the inner ring. And that'll just kind of add another layer of the blue and kind of fill it in a little bit. So there was the inner ring, and come back out to the outer ring again. Try not to let your, like I just am, Deco mesh twist on you. So you'll have a hot mess if you do, well, I would have a hot mess. I like it to go all one direction. Because I just kind of eyeballed it and kind of chose a place that I thought would look the best. All right, there we go. Wow, I think I like it. So far, so good. Remember, we're doing patriotic here. So here is that big bow I made. And I know I want it to go kind of on the inner ring, like that. And then I don't like this bow. I do not like it. No, I don't. So you know what happens when you don't like something. Take it off and you fix it. I'm gonna take this apart. I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, what's she doing? And I think I want to bow without a center loop. So do the same thing, only I come out a little further, and I don't want as big of a loop. And the same concept, I just you know, the best laid plans sometimes don't work out the way you want them to. You just have to go with it and adjust. I'm still twisting and bringing the front up. I'm going to do 3 loops though. We'll see. I'm actually tying this onto one of the crossbars in there. There we go. Let's see. You know, sometimes you gotta tweak and pick and poke until you get it the way you want it. And even for me, it doesn't always come out perfect, you know. Gotta work with it a little bit and make it go the way you want it to go. There we go. That's looking a little better. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I just leave it like that. I was thinking about putting one of those stars in the middle. I don't think so. I think I just want it to be a flouncy, loopy bow like that. Okay, and I want to take these, whoops, and tuck it in to the outer ring on both sides. Isn't quite as long as that one, so well, that's all right. We'll adjust. We'll go up here. Not a big deal. The USA, I think I want to go about right there. Right about straight across. And there we go. Let me chevron this. As you know, I just fold it in half lengthwise. Take your scissors and cut at an angle from the edge up at an angle. Gives you 2 points. Do the same thing over here. Now, I tell you what, I'm going to cut the, I guess these are meant to be like ornaments or to be, you'd be able to hang them on something, but I'm going to cut loops off of them because I don't need them. I'm obviously thinking as I'm going here. I love it when I get quiet like this. Drives me crazy. Now I was thinking of adding some of this. Let's see. Before I put the stars on. And we're going to make these about 12 inches long. And I know I need to get one of those mats. I know. I do. I gave it to Kristen many years ago. I used to have one when I had my own little business there. On the ends. I think I'm going to cut this piece of ribbon in half lengthwise. And chevron the ends. And this is really, really red. I don't think I like that. I think I like this. Why don't I do one more and do like that. See, I tell you, I'm thinking on the fly here, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Again, the thing I need to work on the most is talking as I'm creating. I'm just awful about getting quiet on you guys. This is something I've been working on since last October, since I started this channel. All right. So there I've got 2 tufts of 3, both of which have a little bit of this ribbon in with it. So I know I want the stars up here at the end of each tail that comes out. So let's see, where do I want to put these? So I'm going to put them in the middle. I think I'll put it, there we go. Now, looking pretty good, I like that. Of course, I'm gonna glue those on. Let's see, let's put this one up here. Okay, well, I'm going to get my hot glue gun over here. Actually, I'm going to take this over to my hot glue gun. I'm going to hot glue my stars on, and then I'll be right back and we'll decide whether we want to put some flowers on this or not. I'll be right back. Well, you guys, I started to add some flowers, and I thought I'd better bring you back over here because I'm kind of going a little crazy with the flowers here. I wanted to show you what I was doing. As you can see, I made a nice little arrangement there right underneath the USA. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing up here. And honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to this, you guys. It's just, I just kind of do things the way they look pretty to my eye. So, and I try to get everything into place before I glue it down. I just glued all that down. And I obviously decided to pull a little bit of the red in too. So I'm going to fill in this area in much the same way as I did that. And again, there's no rhyme or reason. So I'm just going to start poking flowers where I think they look nice and go from there. I've never really taken a course in flower arranging, so if there are flower arrangers out there, you guys are probably going, oh my gosh, what is she doing? But I just like to, sometimes things just aren't enough for me, that I just need to try to tweak and mess around with it a little bit more so that I feel better about it. You know? So that's what I'm doing. Let's see. I don't like all the greenery on there. Quiet again on you guys, but you can tell my creative juices are flowing when I get quiet. Sometimes I need to get it up on, I'm going to glue those into place. And then sometimes I need to get it up on the easel to take a look at it and see what else it needs, if anything. I see one other place for some red here. All right, I'll glue this into place. Sit and dry a little bit. I see one more place I need. It's never ending. I'm gonna have to get it, I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit and put it up on the easel and see if I need to do anything else to it. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the finished wreath. What do y'all think? I love it. And it all came together beautifully. Once I took that bow apart and redid it, I was good. And then I got it, you know, in my mind what I wanted to do. So there we go, a little different patriotic wreath for you guys. Just with this USA and the stars up here and over here, and just some flowers just to add in. I'll take some close-up pictures of it for you too, so you can kind of see it. But I'm very happy with how it worked out in the end. Alrighty, well that does it for today and probably for this week. And I don't know what I'm doing next week either, you guys, because I don't have anything planned. So we'll just have to play it by ear. And I don't know when I'll be back. Probably next week sometime, but I think I'm going to take the weekend off. Let my knee heal. It's still kind of giving me a little trouble. Better, but it's still giving me a little trouble. So anyway, I got to run because I got to get my hair done. I'm going to get it colored and trimmed up today. So I will just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.